What's up everyone, it's your girl ChericeShana, and this is the long overdue, really speedy review on Love and Hip Hop season 5 episode 5, School of Rocc. So we basically start off with A1 waking up out of a hotel, and he's in his hotel room, it pans over to him getting up, and he's getting dressed, and he's putting on his jewelry, and he leaves his wedding ring. And then we pan over to Lyrica, who is currently getting ready for a photo shoot. A1 basically says the other day everything was fine, and now this whole thing with him and his wife beefing have him trying to figure out how they're gonna get divorced, and he's now staying at a hotel. Lyrica says that she can't believe this is going on between her and A1, but the show must go on. Lyrica Anderson is here to stay. She's working on some new ventures, and she's excited about her music, and there we have that. Then we go ahead and we see Paris. Paris has on a robe, so she's at a spa, and she's meeting up with Miss Nikki Baby, and they're meeting up to basically discuss some tea. So Paris cannot leave the whole issue alone with Akbar. She decides to do a little bit of digging and saw on Insta, of course, that Akbar is actually married. So she wanted to get some tea from the girl personally, but before she does that, she goes right over to surprise Miss Nikki Baby as Miss Nikki Baby's getting massaged, and lets Miss Nikki Baby know that she's got some information, some hot tea, sis, that Akbar is actually married to Shorty. Shorty's saying she got his last name, and she wants to tell Tierra Marie what's going on. Miss Nikki Baby says telling Tierra Marie over the phone or calling her up is not something to do. It should be something that's done in person. Paris wants to meet up with the girl to find out all the tea before she even meets up with Tierra Marie. So now we're back in the studio, and we're in the studio with A1 and Apple Watts. So Apple Watts is recording her new song that she's working on with A1, and then she comes out of the booth and she decides to, tell A1 a little something after A1 tells her that he's entered her into Donatella's showcase, where he wants her to go ahead and strip and rap at the same time, become a strapper. So she tells him that she has to be real with him. Brooke introduced her to Rockstar, and Rockstar was basically talking a whole bunch of smack about A1 and basically clowning him, and she tells Rockstar that her loyalty lies with A1. She did bicker back and forth with Rockstar, and that's when A1 really explains that he used to be really cool with Rockstar, and how he feels like Rockstar really liked Lyrica, and because Lyrica is basically with him, he's jealous. He also says that Rockstar is also an artist as well, and that he actually sold a song to Rockstar for 30 racks, and Rockstar did not even get the song put out. So they go ahead and join hands and say a prayer. And when they say the prayer, they say a prayer, Lord, Rockstar don't know what he doing. And then we go ahead and switch scenes. So in the next scene, it's Lyrica, and Lyrica is walking into SIR Studios, which is a really famous, world-renowned studio. She's at SIR, and guess who's there? Rockstar. He's performing with someone. He basically cuts that thing short so he can speak with Lyrica. He's looking at her, asking her, what kind of magazine did you walk out of? And you could tell that Rockstar is like infatuated with Lyrica. You could tell. And he basically is like, has A1 seen you looking like this? And she's like, well, this is what single looks like. And she's telling him that she broke up with A1, and a Rockstar goes, well, what happened? Was it too much nail polish? And she's like, oh, you got jokes. And then he starts to kind of clown A1 in front of Lyrica, and Lyrica at that point, because she's mad at A1, is not really coming to his defense with his pearls and his nail polish. So she says that she and Rockstar have been friends for a really long time. She feels like it's okay for her to confide in Rockstar because they've always been really good friends, and she knows she's ready to work on music, and if her and A1 are going to work on music together, she has no problem working with other artists and other producers, aka Rockstar. Now we're moving on to the next scene. So now we're going to the next scene where we see Brooke looking slayed as usual. She's in her house basically saying that, you know, Marcus doesn't understand how serious she is about getting back together. And so she needs to help this process along. So she goes ahead and invites Stasia over. She calls Stasia Natasha. Stasia is like, it's Stasia. She's like, whatever. When she brings Stasia in, Stasia's like, well, what do you have me here for? And she's like, well, I'm just here to tell you that me and Marcus are gonna get married. And Stasia is just looking at her like, and then she's like, it's over between you and Marcus. She's like, no, it's not over between me and Marcus. Did he tell you that I might be pregnant? And Brooke is like, and then we pan over to Marcus. Marcus is walking up to Brooke's house. He says that he can't help but be sucked back into the world of Brooke. And when he gets there, he's in for the shock of his life when he sees Brooke and Stasia there. He asks what's going on. Brooke is just like, well, you know, I'm just letting her know what it is. That, you know, we're going to get married and you guys are no longer going to be together. And, you know, she says she might be having your baby. And so Marcus just like, what? Stasia asked him to go and talk to her. And instead of him, you know, apologizing to Stasia for putting her in that situation, he blames Stasia on some, she could have messaged him before she went over to go see Brooke, and how if she felt secure, she would have never came over there. Brooke then tells Marcus, well, Marcus, how you gonna blame her when you here slinging your thing to her and then gonna have her feeling some type of way? Which is true. But then she goes on to say, don't worry, she gonna be right there when they take the test. She gonna be there because she's gonna be the stepmama, and it's good because Marcus wants a baby but she don't want him to have another baby. And so, you know, that'll be their baby that they have together, and Stasia would just be carrying the baby for them. I'm like, child, this girl crazy as hell. So when Stasia ends up leaving, Marcus comes back to Brooke and she's like, oh, give me a kiss, give me a kiss. And he proceeds to kiss her. He's just as crazy, in my opinion. He is just as insane. Next scene. So now we go down to A1 performing. So A1 is having his performance. Brittany's on stage and she is shaking her booty for dear life, honey. Paris and Miss Nikki Baby are there, and they're basically saying that A1 did his thing. Brittany was on fire, and Paris is like hyping up Brittany, and Nikki Baby's like, Lyrica gonna be mad. And then Paris is like, oh, well, you know, Brittany's just trying to get her money, pretty much. So then we pan over to backstage where A1 and Brittany are talking. Brittany's like, she had a great time and she wants him to come to her showcase that she's having with Donatella. He tells her that he has an artist, Apple Watts, who's going to be performing there as well. She calls it the Brittany show. So he's like, he can't wait to see what's going on. Solo Lucci and Marcus are there to greet A1 on, and, you know, congratulate him on his performance. They ask, you know, what's going on. He basically says, you know, things is not good between him and Lyrica. You know, he feels like, you know, they are really in the outs. So now Marcus is explaining to the guys that Brooke basically calls Stasia the surrogate, that they're gonna be getting back together regardless. And, you know, he knows that Brooke is crazy, and they all agree that Brooke is insane. And he's just like, but he likes that type of crazy. He likes Brooke's crazy. So A1's brother Lloyd comes, and he comes with his wife. And, you know, he's saying, you know, he just want to congratulate his brother. He's not coming on no bad terms like they had the other night at dinner with the mama. And he basically tells his brother, you know, things is really going bad with Lyrica, and he feels that Lyrica and him might be getting a divorce. Lloyd's wife then speaks up, and she basically says, you know, Lyrica doesn't act like a real sister-in-law, and she's very standoffish, and things have changed since Lyrica has been in the picture. And, you know, she blames Lyrica for basically everything that's going on with A1 and his family. So yeah, moving right along. So Miss Nikki Baby and Paris, tell Tierra Marie that they found out about Akbar and his wife and how he's married. She says that's not true. He's not married. He's not married. And they're like, well, yeah, because the girl has using his last name and stuff, and she wants to confront Akbar. So Akbar is basically supposed to be showing her a preview of her music video. However, she wants to discuss other things. She tells him, you know, the stuff that we talked about before about you having somebody else, is that true? And he's just like, oh no, what are you talking about? You know, he's basically telling her, you know, I'm only interested in you right now. And, you know, you and that girl would have been, you and her would have been cool. And she's like, I don't care if we would have been cool. Then in her confessional, she says he needs to be focusing on her and her only. She ain't got time for him to be focusing on nobody else. Now we're heading over to the studio with Rockstar and Lyrica. They're working on some music together, and you know, Lyrica's voice is golden. Okay, Lyrica can sing her behinds off, and she's working with some, you know, some new music. Rockstar goes ahead and shows her a video of Lil Brittany on stage dancing and shaking her booty with A1 on the stage performing, and she's in her feelings, so now she feels like she can't record, but she's gonna be going over to Donatella's showcase later on where she can shake her booty too. As luck would have it, we go over to the doctor's office with Marcus and Stasia. We found out that Stasia is not pregnant. As they're leaving, Brooke rolls up. Dramatic as usual, basically on some, so are we having a baby? And she's like, there ain't no baby, ain't no baby. Once she says ain't no baby, Brooke pulls out some condoms, throws it at Stasia, and tells Stasia, break up with Marcus before he breaks up with you. And she basically goes ahead to break up with Marcus because she's fed up of Brooke always being there. So when the breakup is official, literally not even 30 seconds later, she tells Marcus, come here, Marcus, I'll dry your tears for you, baby. I'll dry your tears for you. She gives him kisses and tells him she got something that's worth his while, pretty much. She's gonna, you know, have something set up for him. And he's like, okay, begins to kiss her and whatever. They both just really crazy, you guys. Like, they're both crazy, legit. So now we see J Will and Lil Brittany, who are performing together on a rooftop, and they sound pretty good. J Will talks about being a bisexual rapper and how people don't really understand him, and Lil Brittany talks about being from Detroit and, you know, trying to show everybody that she has what it takes. And they cannot wait to be a part of that showcase. So now we're moving on to Nikki Baby. So Miss Nikki Baby is meeting up with Paris for lunch, and surprise, surprise, but we're gonna have a visitor. Who's the visitor, you might ask? The visitor is Akbar's wife. So Paris basically says that she told Akbar's wife that Nikki Baby is interested in some of the clothes from the wife's clothing line, and she brings her there to meet up with them. So Miss Nikki Baby's like, oh, okay, so you use me. And she's like, oh yeah, just a little bit. So the wife comes and we're introduced to her as Sade. She's basically like, yeah, you know, she's interested in showing Miss Nikki Baby her clothes, but then Paris starts talking about Akbar. And she's like, well, why you want to know? And she's like, well, because Akbar is dating my friend Sierra. And she's like, you know, your husband is a womanizer. And she's like, don't call him no womanizer. Don't call him no womanizer. And she's like, but he is. He's sleeping with my friend. Do you know what goes on in the bedroom? Do you know what goes on in the bedroom when you're not there? Do you know what they really doing behind closed doors? And she's like, and they're... She's like, you don't know that? You don't know that? So basically, she's like, do you want to even know about my clothes, or are you here to talk about my husband? And she's like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around what's going on here, because this is definitely wrong. Like, your husband has a girlfriend and the girlfriend is my friend. And then she's like, they're always together. And she's like, if they're always together, then what's this? And she shows a video of her and Akbar in the car together, wearing the same outfit that Akbar was wearing when he saw Tierra. That's neither here nor there. So basically, you know, they didn't really get anything accomplished just by, you know, Sade telling them to mind their business. So now we're moving on to Donatella's showcase, where we basically see Lil Brittany perform. And Lyrica is there looking, and she's like, there go that girl that was shaking her behind at my husband's show. And she's performing here. She goes and she sits with Moniece. Her and Moniece had buried the hatchet from some beef that they had a while ago. And basically then after that, Apple Watts goes ahead and performs. She looks pretty nice. You know, I thought the idea was pretty catchy. And now Apple Watts goes over after her performance to Lyrica. She hugs Lyrica. And she's basically, you know, talking to Lyrica and telling Lyrica, all right, you need to talk to your husband. Before doing that, we pan over to J Will, who's getting dressed. And J Will is putting on his performance outfit. But what people don't know is when he actually goes out on stage, he's not going out as J Will, he's going out as Candy. So Candy makes her debut performance at Donatella's showcase. We see that Moniece and J Will have known each other for a long time, and Moniece is actually there to support J Will on his performance. Apple Watts convinces Lyrica to speak to her husband. Lyrica's like, oh, do I have to? She's like, yes. And when she goes up there, the first thing that she does is basically try to confront Lil Brittany. Lil Brittany's like, because I go where I want and I do what I want. Lil Brittany's already in her feelings because Lyrica was already looking at her Instagram live, and she was all looking through her page. I really don't understand why chicks get so mad of other girls looking at their Insta stories or looking at their Instagram. If your page is public information, then it's not an issue, and you're the only person that's pressed because you're searching. If you have a whole bunch of followers, you're searching through your followers to see who's watching your Insta stories. You should not have that much time on your hands, sis. It's never that deep. And if the next chick is watching you, oh well, your page is public for a reason, right? Keep that mouth zipped. That's how I see it. Carry on. A1 brings Lil Brittany outside, and he's like, if you're trying to work with me, don't you think it's disrespectful to try to talk to my wife like that? And she's like, well, you need to tell that bitch. And A1 is just like, you know, Lil Brittany's real disrespectful because she doesn't know that Lyrica and him are on the out. So for her to call his wife a bitch in front of him is disrespectful. And I agree. When they go back in, Lyrica's like, okay, so all of a sudden we're separated for 2 seconds and some girl DMs you and is now all up in on your performances and gets to go to your shows. And he's like, well, this is all going on because of Safari. She's like, Safari, show me the text messages because it's just not true. And Rockstar butts in and says, well, I see that you guys are thriving. And she's like, all right, you can't come in here and do that. And basically she's now defending her husband. So Rockstar, you know, basically is taunting A1. And A1's like, you're trying to steal my artist from me. You try to, all of a sudden you guys are BFFs and whatever. And Rockstar was like, yeah, we be BFFs. And, you know, Lyrica gives him that when he says that he should have said what it was between him and Lil Brittany. And Rockstar takes off his jacket, and he's like, what you taking off your jacket for? What you taking off your jacket for? So Rockstar's like, I'm taking off my jacket just in case you get stupid. And he was like, well, I am stupid. And I'm just like, I don't think you're supposed to say that you're stupid. I mean, I guess. So they about to fight. Security breaks them up, separates them, and while they're fighting, Lyrica says, that's not cool, that's still my husband, you gotta know your place, pretty much. And he's like, in the confessional, shut up, you was just talking about him, now all of a sudden you want to come to his rescue. And he exits stage left. And now we're on to the next scene. And that's pretty much all that happened on season 5 episode 5 entitled School of Rock. Stay tuned for the next episode coming up right after this video. Till next time, bye guys.